Well. If you look at the time, I'm early again. I'm just so excited to be with you guys, taking a look and see everything that we've got. I am just thrilled to see what's going to be happening tonight with X-Men 97. Let's talk about it. All right, guys. Brent here, back with Geek Variants. We cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. Tonight's live stream, X-Men 97. We're going on to episode 9. Tolerance is Extinction, part 2. And that leaves us with the big question. Was Magneto right all along? And that's a question that has been very controversial, shockingly enough, because I think the show made it pretty clear that Magneto was right from jump. If Magneto had got ahead with his plan and just pushed the button anyway, I mean, technically, he would have followed directly into Bastion's plan for turning the mutants against humanity. But at the same time, Bastion was going to do that at either a gradual pace or an over accelerated pace by creating the mutants' extra level of hate due to the fact of everything that happened on Genosha. So I can't believe that it's being as debated as hotly or as contestedly as it has, because I don't necessarily agree with, say, the means, but at the same time, no one's going to sit here and say the mutants have any kind of wrong at all for how they are feeling about certain aspects of their humanities, because they are no less human than us. They just have powers. That's the only difference. And if people weren't able to look past that, like they haven't been for the show and for certain things that have happened here, I don't know what to tell you, because things have been pretty spelled out black and white. The entire show has humanized these superhumans, these mutants, to such an extreme degree. They'd have to be semi blind almost, or just very set in a certain set of ways to not be able to see the humanity that these characters have and that they possess. To me, my X-Men episode 1, it shows how their teamwork is, how they trust one another, how they're willing to fight to stop just the Sentinels and everyone who's persecuting them, because they just want to live in peace, and they want to be able to hang out like everybody else. They want to live their lives, have love in their hearts. They want to be able to have families, and they want to be able to just do so. Exist. That's it. That's all they want. And then we had episode 2, Magneto, when the mutant liberation begins. Magneto decides to stand trial for all of his crimes, and he decides to do so in a peaceful manner, the way that Charles wanted to. But due to Bastion pushing the human extremists to the edge, we all of a sudden end up with this insane moment where Storm takes the hit for Magneto and loses all of her powers for what we couldn't pretend would be for how long. It could be permanent, it could have been a couple episodes. Fortunately, it only ended up being a couple episodes. And then Magneto's still at the cusp of all, even with dealing with the emotional pain of Storm, someone he highly respects losing their powers. He just goes ahead, has a single solitary tear like a boss, and decides to do what he believed was right at the time and not start a war with humanity, to work towards a better future. Followed up, episode 3, Fire Made Flesh. And this is the episode where everything really kicked off, where we got to see Sinister and him come to his element, where he's like, his experimentation has been his primary focus, as it almost always has been. If you're an evil doctor, experimentation is just kind of your thing. You can be a doctor of many things, but experimentation and how you go about things, that's the key. Doctor Doom, the Doctor Doom, no disrespect intended, was always about pushing humanity to its absolute limit, but at the same time evolving past the level of mutants without doing anything to necessarily knock down mutants, if you will. Doctor Doom was always about evolutionizing himself to the point where he finally could be the god that he believes he is in so many comic fans, myself included, would hold Doctor Doom to be. Fire made flesh brought in the one and the only Cable. He was finally born, from Scott and from the lady that stole the show, the Goblin Queen, who we all thought for the longest time, if you haven't, read the comics like myself, thought that that was going to be Jean. And then you follow this up with Motendo Life Death Part 1. And have to say, this is probably one of the weaker episodes of the entire series. They're all not going to be perfect. But at the same time, this episode just focused on Jubilee and Sunspot. And I got to say, Sunspot really hasn't done much for me, period. And Jubilee is, well, she's a teenager. Her powers aren't refined. Her skill set isn't done. She's not set up in a certain manner, shape, and form in which I'm going to look at her and be like, this is a powerhouse. She's going to move this story forward. She's going to do all these great things. She's going to move you forward through the power of her heart and her beliefs, which is great. But at the end of the day, look, I need some firepower here. I got Sentinels just up the wazoo about to do absolute destruction to me and all of our teams. So having Jubilee as this character that doesn't really pack that real punch, not really doing a whole heck of a lot for me. And then from there, we go to episode 5, Remember It. And boy, do we remember it. My little icon here, over Gambit. We lost him. We lost our boy. We didn't necessarily come into the series thinking that Gambit was going to be the turning point and the turning character that kind of like decided how things went. But boy, did he. Rogue went rogue because of him. Magneto ended up getting kidnapped, but also respecting Gambit a whole heck of a lot more for his actions that took place on Genosha. So many unnecessary lives were lost at Genosha, and so many things were pushed directly into place that otherwise could not have been. You follow that up with Life Death Part 2, and our girl Storm, Aurora, she came back. She fought her fears. She faced her trials. She faced her tribulations and came out the goddess of nature that she is. She is an Omega level mutant. And for those of you that don't know, that means she's a pretty damn big deal. She's someone that you absolutely in a fight, one on your side for so many reasons, and the goddess of nature will not be thwarted by anyone or anything in any regards. You will respect Aurora and you will respect Storm in so many ways. And the fact that she was able to gain her powers back and in the form and the fashion in which she did was incredible to see. You follow that up with the very, very next episode, episode 7, Bright Eyes. Rogue. Gone rogue as hell. A bit of a cameo heavy episode, if you will. I mean, we had heavy hitter after heavy hitter leading into Captain America showing up, trying to be the good guy, trying to right the wrongs that Rogue was committing, only to get called out blatantly for him being very, very black and white about the subject. He doesn't give a damn about mutants. Never has. Never will. He cares more about America and the American mutants than he does about mutants as a whole. And then his neat little metallic frisbee just got yeeted off into the distance. And let's be perfectly blunt here. If Magneto had been in the MCU, that frisbee and Iron Man would have been yeeted off into the distance so many times it would have been hilarious to watch. Sure, he would have tried finding a workaround at some point because Tony's Tony. But at the same point, Magneto is Magneto. Captain America's shield, yeeted. His beliefs drawn directly into question and drawn directly to the point where he has no room in this fight. If Rogue wanted to, Rogue could have bodied him. She could have flicked him all the way over to Genosha, and he would have made a nice little crater besides Gambit. Sorry to be blunt, but Cap wouldn't have stood a chance in hell. And ultimately, she, through her actions, accidentally unleashed even more Sentinels, like Bastion wasn't going to release it at some point anyway. And, let's be perfectly blunt. Bastion has someone who's always gotten what he's wanted. Bastion is always someone who has pushed for evil in all of its entirety. Let's just leave it at that. He's never been about tolerance. He's never been about acceptance. He's never been about pushing humanity in any shape or form. The only thing he's pushing is his ideals, and he wants humanity to turn their backs on this team right here who have selflessly, I might add, helped so many countless others when they didn't have to. The mutants don't have to care about humanity, never have, but they've chosen to. And as much as, Scott irks me a lot of the time because he's so dramatic, so over the top, flip floppy with his beliefs. One minute he's dark, one minute he's heroic. What he did say was true. He's made many sacrifices for humanity, and they didn't have to. It's not their business, it's not their place. They're just choosing to make the world a better place so that they can have a better place for their family. And if at the end of the day that isn't what basically everyone on this planet is trying to do, I'd be a little bit shocked. Not gonna lie. So I gotta give Scott that. That being said, juggling two women at the same time who are significantly stronger than you are and can probably just eat you into the distance. I'd be careful with that one, my friend. I'd be very, very careful. You're lucky they love you, even though she keeps hooking up with him. So that's a whole situation that needs to be addressed at some other moment in time. X-Men 97 has been a lot of fairy tale matchmaking, if you will. There's been a lot of stuff in that regard that needs to be semi-addressed. Morph has been fantastic, just hanging out. And then you follow everything up that we just had through all 7 episodes I've just recapped with episode 8. Tolerance is Extinction Part 1. And I gotta say, this episode is really where things started kicking up into the utmost and highest of gears. The cameos and the characters and the people that they pulled out for this episode were incredible. They were some of the strongest people you could have. Spider-Man has a comic book pull, a comic book accessibility and sellability that maybe 1 or 2 characters in comics other than him have. Him and Batman and maybe Superman, probably the 3 greatest selling characters, period. Because Spider-Man is for adults, he's for teenagers, he's for kids, he's for the elderly. Spider-Man has been around forever. Everyone knows his line. Everyone knows how he behaves. The fact that he all of a sudden stopped and was like, what is this? And then we confirmed later on, like I want to say 2 days later, that Spider-Man is the same Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 90s comics, the 90s TV show. Marvel's trying to cook here. I don't know how they're going to make it happen, but their animation department has done beautiful things. It's been very exciting to see. Disney's animation, I will say, has just been super exciting to see. Normally around this time, I'd be hooting and hollering about Star Wars The Bad Batch. And that series ended, in my opinion, phenomenally. There were a lot of questions that were left open. There were a lot of things that were answered. And the animation quality was good. The story was well told. And they were able to convey exactly what I think they needed to convey to the viewers. I still have questions about certain aspects of it, but it's not bad. Then you follow that up with Friday night into Saturday night stream. Thank you for those who were there for that. We covered the Tales of the Empire Disney Star Wars animation. And I gotta say, the animation quality was great. The story was good at times. I want to say 4 out of 6 episodes were good. There were 2 episodes that were just flat out bad, and they maliciously used Darth Vader as clickbait. There was no reason for him to be in that episode, other than the fact to signify that, hey, we can put Darth Vader in a trailer somewhere if we conclude him at this moment in time. So we're just kind of left with that for everyone in that chat. That being said, we have only 2 more episodes of X-Men 97. I'm very excited to get into it with you guys. I'm taking a look at the calendar now because My Hero Academia, full swing. I'll be doing another stream of that Friday night into Saturday morning. I believe it'll be Saturday morning around probably 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Covering that anime, my boy Will has been doing me a huge favor by covering Kaiju number 8 so I can stay up late, watch one of them. He watches the other. Huge thank you to him for doing so. No, he's got a lot on his plate at this moment in time. And then starting this Sunday, Demon Slayer back in action for Mother's Day. Be sure to say Happy Mother's Day to all the important women in your life that you know, love, and cherish, and who are mothers. It's a hard battle. I know mine wanted to smack me upside the head so many times because I'm stubborn and I like to do things my way, regardless if it's right, wrong, or indifferent, because that's just kind of how I roll. You can ask anyone behind the scenes. I can be difficult to work with at times. You get me on stream, though, all of a sudden I'm a cherub-like demeanor and I'm having all the fun I can with the fans, really getting to know each and every one of you. So I appreciate everyone who's liked, disliked, or I've had a conversation with in this chat, or who has even done us one better. Hit that lovely red subscribe button or hit that follow button on your preferred streaming service. I don't potentially like look and be like, oh no, you're only on Twitch or only on YouTube. Thank you for whatever you can. Appreciate y'all for coming in, hanging out, having a good night with each and every one of us. We've got about 6 more minutes left till we're going to be kicking it into high gear with X-Men 97 Extinction Part 2, which for obvious legal reasons, because we have gotten no written consent from Disney, Marvel, or any other entity to have it on our screen, it will be off to the side where I'll be doing a watch along with you guys, talking about things that I see through the episode. That being said, just so we're all perfectly clear here, watching X-Men with me is a lot like Googling historical events through Wikipedia. You're going to get the highlights, you're going to get the basic synopsis, but you're not going to get the whole general feeling and foundation that you're necessarily looking for. You're not going to have like a play-by-play or a watch party with Will or Tony, who love these characters, know these characters, and can present them to you in a form or fashion that makes it really easy to digest, because they have so many theories and so much general comic knowledge that it would astound you. This isn't my wheelhouse. I just always choose to be able to have myself accessible at night, schedule permitting, of course, to hang out with you, the geek variants, because I like being able to be with you when sometimes other members of the channel just can't. Tony's old. He likes his bedtime. Is what it is. Will's got important things going on. Don't really have to always stress what they are, but he's got important things going on, so he's busy at times. Guess who has a semi-reasonable schedule at this moment in time? Hey, it's me, hanging out with you guys, having as much fun as we possibly can, learning how to grow a YouTube channel, how not to grow a YouTube channel in some cases, what to do, what not to do, everything covering how to get a Twitch to even work. I don't even know, like, what is a Twitch called when you're like live streaming? Is it just live streaming? Is there like another lingo for it? Another little piece of information that I'm not like entirely certain of? Don't know. Got a lot of questions here, but at the same time, super excited to be with you guys, the viewers. Just making sure I have my phone properly muted so I don't have any further distractions as we get into this. How do we like My Hero? I gotta say, for me, episode 1 was an absolute banger. The viewership numbers, though, were astoundingly low for it. Kaiju number 8, a brand new anime that I said was going to be very popular, was more watched than My Hero Academia. It probably doesn't help that My Hero Academia was out earlier on Hulu than it was on Crunchyroll. And for those of you that know, Crunchyroll is the anime's premier streaming service channel. It has all the anime you're going to look for and then some, unless you are doing something you're not supposed to be on websites that I don't know about. Crunchyroll is supposed to have anime first. That's its only thing it does. It's its bread and butter. It's how it makes its living. It's how it gets people to watch. It's how it gets people to care about what they have ongoing. That's their shtick. And still, My Hero Academia dropped on Hulu first and had lower viewership numbers than Kaiju number 8, and it had lower viewership numbers than tons of other animes that just started. It finished at 7th of the top 10. 7th. That's embarrassing for one of the animes that's considered part of the big 3. Like 3 years ago, you say this, people's jaws are dropping, and they're like, no, I would never expect this. Have people just gotten bored of that format and formula? I hope not, because I still love the show. I'm still intending to cover it. That being said, people are going to do what people are going to do. And Sunday, I'm hoping that Demon Slayer has a much better return. Because I had great times with you who hung out with me through the My Hero. And basically, I had a fan point out very, very astutely, hey, it's over on Hulu. Go check it out. Sure enough, took a look, re-updated my Hulu because my Hulu expired because, everything basically on Hulu is on Disney now. So almost one and the same entirely. Took a look. Hey, there it is. Sure as the day is long, hanging out for me, just waiting, and watched it with you guys. Got that episode recap up for you guys. Had a great time. The episode recap for X-Men 97, the show you are here for, will be later tomorrow. I want to say somewhere between, if I had to guess, somewhere between 3 Pacific and 6 Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around there, when all work schedules are correct and we can get our experts on. The experts, Tony and Will. They can run that whole thing without me. They don't need me on it. I just usually sit back and zone out as they talk for 20 to 40 minutes about all the theories, the comics, the speculation, the characters' deep breakdowns, all that good stuff that you would come to expect from a channel that covers, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. Anime, Star Wars, gaming, Lord of the Rings, I'm your guy. Everything else can be hit and miss. Certain characters I'm more fond of than others. You'll be able to see some in the background. So, that being said, we are closing in on 1 more minute. I'm going to get my chat ready to go here. Been a rather silent chat, silent stream thus far, which is entirely fine. I can talk anybody's ear off all the live long day. Episode 9 is up. Let's see what we got here. Episode still has not premiered, just hit midnight. So 3 a.m. episode is up. Boy, together. We got Charles back in the fold. Was the only thing I think I forgot to mention in my recaps. Entry basically just had a vacation while his entire family is being massacred. Bastion's voice actors sound so much like one of the voice actors from Star Wars. It's ridiculous. And the funny thing to me, my X-Men, he only summoned the ones that have a high intellect. Let's see what the opening is now, because the music's different already. There we go. Okay. Episode 9 is up, Zach. It is just premiered on Disney Plus. It is on there, hanging out, waiting for you. New opening and all. Might just have to keep refreshing it, or unless Disney's website crashed and I got lucky. But so far, it should be there. So about 2 minutes into mine now. Episode just actually started because you do not skip the opening. It's an unwritten rule. Also, whoever keeps fixing this house, you have a full time job because this thing gets blown up every other week. Bastion is crying. Okay. Sorry about that, Zach. I'm sure it's just a high number of people because this is one episode away from the finale next week, which we will also be live streaming as well as live streaming My Hero Academia later on this week. Magneto's war is officially starting. Forge is now in an X-Men costume, and Magneto is at war with humanity. There we go, Zach. Enjoy the episode. Enjoy the episode, my friend. W's in the chat for Zach. Scott, are you really arguing with the professor right now? Then why are you complaining about this? It's a waste of time. It's a fear. That's what you wanted. Charles wanted to be free too. He didn't want to have to deal with this crap. Now he's got to deal with World War, God knows what, because we have Bastion and Magneto both on a war path. Oh, Nightcrawler, what's up, dude? Magneto. Hey, Storm. Got the two geniuses hanging out. Mm. Mm. Cable's still hanging out. I wonder who will die this episode. Oh yeah, you're gonna send the tank to go take out the Bastion. Oh, you got a suit on now, Sunspot. I didn't even see you there. Nice, I'm gonna join up. But until you do a full transformation, nothing for me. I like the team plan though. This will work. So Charles knew about Bastion this whole time, which is like, I'm gonna take a vacation. How many of these issues are literally his fault? How many? Hmm. Let's go, Nightcrawler, Team MVP. I don't care what nobody says. We're gonna dog collar Bastion. Okay. It should have been just a blast. Well, Storm didn't like it. He did outrun his path to the Thieves Guild. The Thieves Guild didn't get him killed. I mean, getting killed by Sentinel is definitely not having anything to do with the Thieves Guild. That's a evil tower descending from the sky. He said, "You want to fight? I'll bring my whole island." Oh, that's Magneto. Hi, Magneto. I didn't know you could summon a whole planet, but all right, that's cool. Magneto be spitting. Mm. I'm Team Magneto right now. He literally just scrolled right past Charles, like, you're not part of this right now. You go this way? Or that way. Oh, he's hitting him with the My X-Men. He's trying to hit him right in the chunk. And of course, Rourke's going with him. She's not. Hey, Rogue's not evil. And Sunspot. Huh, I guess they're breaking up. And he's full suited. I like it. Goodbye, ominous planet in the sky. Mm, it's complicated. Okay, Scott, that's nice. You learned how to parent on the fly. And they're making fun of the fans. That's a direct slap. I think this whole episode is just going to be the setup for the next episode. This seems to be what we're looking at this moment, but I could be wrong. If I had to guess a character who will pass, I'm going to shout out Magneto. I think he will be the one that takes the fall this episode. It's too many pieces against him as much as I respect what he's doing for his reasons. They're doing the old cartoon look, so that's kind of makes up for the fact that they didn't do the black leather look. Okay. That's more than a few Sentinels. Digging the music too. I'm still wondering why Beast is even going. They have Storm. Why are you worried? Do we really have time for this speech, though? Like, if Storm doesn't like murk 6 of these immediately upon leaving the jet, we riot. Hmm. She's just more than a little bit impressive. Just more than a little bit. Yeah, there's a Hulk cameo right there. I'm okay with the Morph Smash. And then powered up by Jean Grey. Yeah, that's gonna be a hit. We have Beast Puns. Oh, he just slapped him straight across the face. Oh, they're sinister. Sinister out here putting on the moves. For Jean being as strong as she is, she gets bodied or passed out way more than she should. Yep, she got him. He just took a bowling ball to the face and about 8 or 9 more, just for good measure. Wolverine gets a new look. I like it. I respect that. I'm gonna guess they're gonna break up, or at least change it to It's complicated. Magneto. Sinister out here just straight escaping. Worth a shot. Beast out here making the moves, but not enough. Not enough. So close. And Storm is having a heyday with this. Oh, oh God. Swear if you killed Storm after you just gave her powers back, that's cold. I wonder if what Sinister wants is just Cable. Yep. Sinister wanted Cable this whole time. Oh, okay. So he's still Cable's still got something going on right now. Right now, it looks like he's about to body Jean. Little family dispute. Wolverine is going to stab Magneto. It's going to happen. Where's the helmet? Magneto survived, but what else? Oh, oh, he betrayed him. Okay, Scott, good job. You continue to be as you've always been. That was a metal pun. I just want that noted. Magneto used the pun until he died. He just got stabbed. Why does it always have to be the good ones? Oh, he's not dead. Oh, oh, he's about to rip Wolverine apart. Oh, that happened. Okay. Oh, this is a kid show. Okay. Explain to me in which direction we just sent Wolverine. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea. The Master of Magnetism. Master of Magnetism versus the guy made of metal. What about this situation made you think this is gonna play out nicely? Like, let's let's just be perfectly blunt here. because oh my god. And then on top of that, we had that nice cameo. Worf was using his powers for the right way. Just we had finally the Hulk showed up, which was cool. It was a really nice cameo. Really liked what we got going on there. We just finished episode 9. I'm trying not to get too heavy into spoilers, but I've kind of made it here clear through the message here. If I could speak English, I really wish I could. This is what happens when you stream like 6 hours in one day. Your brain just kind of melts. Don't know why. Don't know how. Don't know how people do it for a living for 8 hours a day. But I digress. It's not really all that difficult. But to have the type of carnage we just saw, and then we have Morph pulling up characters like the Hulk to be able to amplified by the fact that we had Gene helping him deliver that much more of a devastating punch. Amazing. The fact we got to see Storm just annihilating Sentinel after Sentinel after Sentinel to the best of their abilities. Super cool. Super exciting. Great to see. We finally get to see Magneto and Charles just stop talking. And Magneto with the coldest line of the entire episode, just telling Charles to shut up. Because let's be blunt here. Charles has no place to talk. He left his family to die. That was it. That is the long and the short of it. While he was out finding love on a vacation, his family was going through the absolute worst situation imaginable. So for Charles to sit here and continue to lecture people the way that he has, it's almost infuriating on a very, very large scale. Because he's like the master of peace and justice, and we're gonna, be so peaceful and so kind and so cherub-like demeanor about everything that we're gonna make everyone believe we're the good guys, even though it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that that system doesn't work, it's ineffective, and now here we are, a World War Magneto with Bastion at the real centerpiece of it all. This is basically what Captain America Civil War should have been, and Zemo should have looked intelligent, but it never happened. Just so we're all clear about that particular movie. Because it was great because we had Black Panther's cameo, and we got Spider-Man showing up as a cameo. But other than that, the film kind of was, let's just say, lackluster. So this is how it should have been done, with a coherent villain pushing two sides in a very opposite direction that no matter how far apart you push them, has to meet back up in the middle at a certain point in like a diamond, with Bastion at the center, carefully weaving how he wants his story to connect and just work together throughout. So we're just having that kind of a situation show up is definitely interesting. It's well done. The storytelling is fantastic. I can't believe that they fired the writer for the show. Like where we're at now, that petition should be even further along than we are right now. But at the same time, it's been a fantastic ride for so many of us. And I've just been absolutely tickled that we have seen this show come as big as it has. I am not an X-Men fan. Throwing that out there. Never have been, not going to pretend to be. This show, you guys are bringing me back. If this is what it was supposed to be initially, I missed the train. It's on me. My bad. I still saw like 2.5 seasons of the original. It just didn't do anything for me. This series, doing it for me in spades. This is one of the strongest opening animated series we've seen in a long, long time. I'm not going to put it as the greatest, obviously. I think Invincible proudly holds that because it came out of nowhere and it didn't have the backing of Disney or Marvel or DC to push it or propel it forward. It stood alone, and Amazon said, "Let's do this thing," and they made it this thing. So between the Invincible is the strongest animated opening thus far. This series, incredible, nonetheless. And now we have to deal with the fact that Logan will probably survive in some weird shapes, way, or form. I don't know how. Couldn't speculate on it. Couldn't give you a concrete answer. But let's be real here. If people die in comics, are they ever really dead? Like, even if I see this body, do I really believe it's dead? I don't believe Storm's dead for a second. I believe she's severely wounded because if you took Storm's powers, ripped them out of her, have her fall in love, gain those powers back through personal self belief and a great self journey, only to have her look into her love's eyes as she gets shot down, cruel and unusual, would be exactly where I start with that. So let's not pretend otherwise, that this is something that would just be dark beyond belief. This series, though, has been fantastic. This episode was great. Next week's finale is going to be a tearjerker, I'm sure. This episode had a lot of people moving in a lot of different ways and a lot of different shapes and a lot of different directions. The cameo I thought was super cool. The action was great. The story was well done. I'm still a little confused overall as to why we had the fallout that we did, and whether that's really Sinister at the wheel here or where we're just going to overall be with certain things. This episode was insane. I loved it. What are your guys' thoughts? I finished the episode. I don't want to drop too many more spoilers for those who've been here. I have done the full recap of things because this was bloody. It was dark. It was gritty. The writing was fantastic. Charles got put in his place throughout the entirety of this episode because Charles has no right to be talking the way Charles has been talking. He literally took a love boat vacation off in space while his family is suffering and his people and everyone he's been working for the last 50 or 60 years were going through literal hell. And then all of a sudden he gets confronted by probably the least deserving person in Scott to talk to him about the situation. Why is Scott the one to do this? Why didn't you make me leader? We have literally 24 hours to live or die. And you want to argue with Charles right now about this decision? Let's just figure out if we're going to survive long enough after this 24 hours before we have that moment, okay? Scott, you need to stop thinking about yourself so dang much in these moments in time. Certain things just don't have to be done right now. You did a great job of stepping up to be Cable's dad as best you can. Because, I mean, when your son gets shoved through a time care baby school, well, like a time care baby school where you're skipped throughout time, I don't know how much hands-on experience you're really gonna get. You know, it's not like you're gonna able to play catch or go to his first game. Your kid has a nanovirus and then is moved throughout time, space, and all that good stuff. Did the best he could. We still haven't seen Bishop come back though, and that's something that will need to be addressed. Where did he end up in all of this? Because Cable came back. Bishop did. Bishop's been gone since episode 3. And I know there's been a lot of chaos, but that hasn't been addressed sufficiently for me. Am I the only one that feels this way? Wolvie, well, he might have just kicked the bucket. Rogue has been Rogue this whole time. She has her reasons. She's Team Magneto. I kind of have to agree with her situation, what she's going through. You're still making terrible puns, Beast. I don't know what to do. Please stop crying about everything. It's not about you. It's never been about you. This shouldn't be about you. You're not the leader. You're not even the backup co-captain. You're not even fit to go bring me the paper plates at the cookout. Shush. Away. Jean, you didn't pass out this time, so thumbs up there. You might be dead, though, because Cable's got a grudge match going on because Who's My Real Mom is something that has to play out in live screen and live time for everybody. So that's going to be interesting. And then there's Morph. Just hanging out, trying to do Morph things, morphing in other people, really getting to know everybody. Being one of the bright spots in this series through humor and so many other tactics. And then I have Jubilee covered up here, who's now going through what all can be perceived as the weirdest breakup. Because, I mean, how else would you characterize everything that's going on between Jubilee and Sunswat? Are they broken up? Are they together? Are they dating? Is it complicated? Complicated would probably be the best thing we can see. Because, I mean, when you're on one side of the war and your lover's on the other side of the war, things are going to be interesting, to say the least. This is Mutant Civil War on a Marvel-sized scale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where Civil War was infinitely times smaller than it should have been, because good golly, Miss Molly, I would have loved to see the real Civil War comic brought to life. It's one of the few Marvel comics I've read start to finish, and it was a chef's kiss in so many ways. I still prefer the Justice storyline, but that's DC, and I digress. So many of these characters have shined throughout this series. Jubilee has been blasé for me. Jean, you pass out too much. Scott, stop whining. I'm starting to see your perspective as much as I really shouldn't, because, human, she's only for Team Mutant human, so not really a lot going on there. Your puns still suck, but sometimes they grow on me, so it is what it is. I'm a guy. I like puns. Puns are amazing. Puns and fart jokes. They always work. Wolvie, I don't think I've ever liked you this entire series, and now you are here, there, over there, a little bit over there, some of you over there. Gonna be really hard to decide on things. Queen of everything. We're not gonna disrespect Storm, but I swear to all that is holy, all that is powerful. If you literally make her lose her powers for Magneto, then go to war after finding love, learning to love herself, embrace herself, care about herself, and then have her get shot down in front of her love's eyes. You done her dirty. You never liked her. I don't care what everyone says. Certain things about Storm should not be touched, diminished, or damaged. And killing her is out of line. I don't care what anybody says. I know she's showing up in What If, but that's not the same thing. And then where the heck are you, Bishop? Where the heck are you? We lost you. You went in with a baby. Baby came out big, buff, dude with white hair and one robotic eye. You're not here. Things need to be explained. Things need to be talked about. I have questions. Tomorrow's breakdown video, which will be probably around 3 Pacific Standard Time or 6 Eastern Standard Time, with the real comic experts, Tony and Will. They will have all the breakdown you guys are hoping for and more. This has been kind of my rookie attempt at things. This isn't my wheelhouse. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm a gaming guy. I'm an anime guy. I've been doing the Fallout series for those of you who've been subscribed. Appreciate so much coming along, going through the wasteland with me, talking about all that stuff. Appreciate everyone who's been part of the My Hero stream from last weekend. That was phenomenal. Had a great time with you guys. Thank you for the fan in chat who let me know My Hero was on Hulu, so I didn't sit here waiting for Crunchyroll to drop the episode. Half hour to an hour late. I never even got to see when it dropped. I had my full episode talked about. The watch party ended. The episode uploaded and ready to go and watched by a couple people by the time My Hero probably dropped. So thanks to each and every one of you who's been there for that, helping the channel grow, hanging out with me. I've been streaming for coming up on 6 hours now today with you guys, the Geek Variants between Twitch and YouTube. The gameplay shockingly doing better on YouTube, so we're keeping it there for the moment. I'll find out more goodies to get you guys on Twitch, because I do care about everyone on every platform. Just hang out and subscribe or like or follow, whichever channel works best for your viewing one, whichever one you're on more and want to see us on more. We'll make it work. We'll be there for you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. I don't have any other final thoughts. Chat's been pretty much silent other than our boy Zach, who appeared, finally was able to get his X-Men 97 to load because I understood some people weren't able to get into the episode initially. Thank you so much, guys, from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you. I'll see you, hopefully, in the next episode. Peace out, guys. Oh, and subscribe if you just want to, keep in touch with us.